By a golden estuary in West Wales lies the community of Llanelli. It has a familiar story to tell. It once had a proud industrial past, but fell on hard times. Now its people are struggling to survive a recession. It's a tale you know from the headlines, but we'll show the human stories behind them. Some are having their lives blighted by bankruptcy.
What to do, like?
Others are striving to forge a brighter, more prosperous future.
During the next 6 month period, the runway should be completed, and that will make this airport in the same size as London City Airport.
Some are living the good life. Other people are far less privileged.
As soon as he gets a place, he can better himself. I mean, he can see his kids, he can sort his life out. Got to have a roof over your head so they'll do things right.
Everything is just so much, you know, the pressure, like, can't cope with it all.
There are people of opposites, of hope and despair, success and failure. And these are their stories. Llanelli, forged from a tinplate and steel industry which once employed half of the town's workforce. Today, this seaside community is trying to define a new future prosperity based on leisure and tourism. Despite the recession, the new out-of-town retail park has become a boost for the local economy. But it's come at a cost. The traditional town centre is suffering, and even with the fast approach of Christmas, the high street's in decline. Paul Williams's minicab business has been hit hard by the recession, and with too many taxis already competing for too few customers, Paul's found it impossible to keep 3 cabs running, and his company now faces bankruptcy.
Hi, Jeff.
Yeah, good talk.
How's it going, boy?
Well, good.
Busy today?
No, not really.
No, as always, isn't it? You heard about me ago?
What's happening?
I'm going bankrupt.
Many taxis in the festival.
Oh,
Come on, didn't you?
Yeah.
Lot too many.
But you know yourself, you know, I mean, everybody's getting made redundant now from factories and what have you, and what are they doing? Buying taxis.
Cars on,
Exactly. Worse it's going to get, I think, not better.
There was a time, Paul, you'd have to phone a taxi and get one.
Yeah.
On a weekend, you know, you come outside on the street, you can pick one on the street corner.
Exactly, yeah.
You don't even have to phone anymore.
Yeah. It all started with me last Christmas. Because, you know, you expect December to be our best month. No two ways about it. But for me, last Christmas wasn't anywhere near 2007.
If we went for the shop here, we wouldn't have nothing. And the big supermarket, we'd have nothing here. It should be having more shops in town. Llanelli's becoming a pound city. Pound shops everywhere. That's the trouble.
After the loss of a major contract, Paul's built up almost £50,000 worth of debt. The threat of bankruptcy and the constant pressure from creditors and bailiffs has taken its toll.
I'm really down about it all. Like, I'm hopefully when I get through this, times will get better. But at the moment, I don't see light at the end of the tunnel. There we are, home sweet home. Let's go and hide away and lock the door and ignore the phone calls and ignore the knock on the doors. Bye.
A few miles out of town, airport manager Captain Winston Thomas is opening up Pembrey Airport. For many years, the landlord, Carmarthenshire County Council, have been pressurising Winston to improve the airport. If it can be turned into a financial success, it could bring in valued tourists and offer a vital financial boost to the area. Today's a milestone for Winston and could finally prove the airport's viability. Skybus are launching their first flight from Pembrey to Newquay in Cornwall. Winston hopes it'll be the first step towards a regular service and a stage closer to his dream of running Llanelli's first international airline.
Today is a big day for the airport, you know, the arrival of the first charter flight. We've still got a little bit of work to do regarding the airport infrastructure. And then, of course, we can go ahead and do scheduled services, which is the ideal situation.
The great and good have turned out in force. A regular commercial service from the airport could finally put Llanelli on the map.
Dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. So, I declare Pembrey, West Wales Airport, open for business.
So far, the day has gone perfectly. But will Winston's excited passengers board their flight on time?
To show you how to put the life jacket on, I'm sure you're all there, if you could just watch one more time.
The decline of the town's traditional manufacturing industries has also helped create a blight that rapidly developed into an epidemic. Llanelli has a serious ongoing drug problem. The town's tight-knit community leaves few addicts on the streets. Most drug-taking happens behind closed doors, and many homeless addicts spend their lives sleeping on friends' sofas. The charity Choose Life helps many of Llanelli's young drug addicts. Carlo Shepherd is one of many at the beginning of a long road to recovery. He's being helped to break the cycle of sofa surfing by the centre's director and former addict, Alan Andrews. Alan hopes to help Carlo get his own flat.
This flat's the beginning of my life. I'm basically, that's what I'm going to use it as, you know what I mean? With that flat being around the corner, so I leave me and just come over, see the boys, chat, have a bit of grub, whatever, game of pool, and back home then basically, you know.
If you're sofa surfing, the chances are you're not going to be in some, middle class respectable house. You're going to be with people who are smoking cannabis, doing drugs, and it's like, yeah, crash where everyone, because that's what they normally do. You know, accommodation, I think, is one of the most fundamental things you need to stabilise your life, because if your home life isn't okay, how are you going to make any improvements in other areas?
They've got a place they can go to where they give you stuff for free. No, this place, people get rid of it. So only certain people can get it. Probation can help you, though. Ask them. Yeah.
And they take you down the warehouse on a Monday, and you pick your things then, and you've only got to pay £10 fee for them to deliver it.
It's stressful for him. It is stressful. But as soon as he gets everything in place, it'll be awfully good, you know. But it's just waiting and all the messing around, waiting for letters to come. They seem to be messing around, or they are messing him around a bit. I hope he hurry up and sort it out, because as soon as he gets a place, he can better himself. You know what I mean? He can see his kids, he can sort his life out. But at the minute, he's just here, there and everywhere. And that's stressful on its own, Joe. Got to have a roof over your head to be able to do things right.
On the other side of Llanelli, minicab owner Paul Williams is finding it hard to cope with the constant threat of bailiffs. He's finally plucked up the courage to apply for his bankruptcy and wants his application heard as soon as possible. With a clean slate, Paul can restart his life.
I've waited so long now, it's just... I can't cope anymore, I just want to get it over with now. Hello, yes, I've received an insolvency pack from yourselves a couple of weeks ago. I'd like to make an appointment for the bankruptcy, please. We've got nothing before that at all.
The court is so busy they can't see him for 2 months.
Right, okay, thanks. Ta-da now, ta-da. I just cheesed off again now. I was hoping to make a fresh start for Christmas, but it's not there, like. Gutted. Gotta wait again now. I'm all held up again. Frustration comes to mind the moment. Oh, just... I don't know what to do, like. I want it over with, you know. I just fed up of all the phone calls, the letters, everything. It's just so much, you know, the pressure, like can't cope with it all. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't.
Alan Andrews from Choose Life has his own difficult story to tell. His drug addiction led to a life of crime and many years behind bars. Alan understands only too well how life's experiences can help turn some people towards a life of drug abuse.
My pain was, I was a young man who, his father used to work away, but then he brought up without a father being around. Also, around that time, I went through a period of sexual abuse with some bloke out, you know, don't know who he was, but basically I was getting abused, and those were secrets I'd had to hide from everyone, and brought a lot of shame in my life, and I just couldn't deal with that intensity of emotion. And back then I remember seeing my first psychiatrist when I was 12. They never asked about abuse. These days you go to social service, the first thing they'll check for is signs of sexual abuse. Back then it wasn't the case. So I had this deep, dark secret, and it's almost I had to make another person that didn't have to feel them emotions. But the problem was, it takes a lot of medication to suppress that kind of emotion, and sadly, that's why most people end up addicted to drugs. Things have gone on in their life, and they can't deal with it.
At Pembrey, the crowd of dignitaries await the arrival of the airport's first charter flight.
It's amazing, especially when you think of all the big airports.
Local businessman and volunteer at the airport, Spencer Davies, can see the potential of a regular service from Pembrey.
People want the facilities here. I can see people, you know, the rugby fraternity and the soccer possibly using it. People coming to the horse racing. You know, somebody wanted to go to Ireland, for example, watch the rugby, would, you know, use it. You know, there's got a lot of opportunities.
In the departures lounge, the plane's passengers are checking in.
The idea of only having to go sort of down the road to get to an airport is just brilliant. It's really brilliant.
I think it's absolutely marvellous that this is happening today. It's been a long time and great, absolutely brilliant. I hope it's a success.
Yeah, I hope it's the start of something big for the future, because clearly there's lots of opportunities now with Foster's racecourse and the other attractions, and let's hope it's the start of a big tourist industry.
Nice to see you again. Good.
Concerned about the airport's performance, Carmarthenshire County Council have commissioned a report from business consultant Robin Camish.
I think today's a great day for Pembrey Airport, because having a charter service available on a regular basis, particularly for the link to Foster's Racecourse, I think it's a wonderful day for the airport.
Very nice and close together. Chin, it's cold. That's it. Just keep looking straight at me.
Winston's introduction of commercial air travel to Pembrey has worked well.
The emphasis really is to provide services to alleviate a lot of the traffic out of the bigger airports, to be able to encourage inward investment to the area. And that's my objective from the time I started the project.
Although Robin is less convinced that Winston's the right man to take things further.
I think Winston's done a great job up to now, but the expertise to run the airport here and grow it doesn't exist at this point in time. That actually needs to be brought in, has to be evolved and developed, and it's a phasing thing. I think Winston's done a great job up to now, but reality check, you know, at his age, he should gracefully retire out into sort of the distance, get all the applause from the work he's done, and actually you need to bring in a professional management team to run the place.
Finally, with Winston's cooperation, the council have agreed to put in a new management team to work alongside him. He has now finally installed credit card facilities, and if the airport does become a financial success, the council just might finance his runway extension. For Winston, this could be a new beginning. But for a different business nearby, it's been a much tougher year. 3 months ago, in the depths of a recession, the management of Spencer Davies Engineering had to lay off its entire workforce after 35 years of trading. It was a tough day for Managing Director Owain Davies.
Well, Spencer Davies Engineering is insolvent, and we've had to cease trading today. So that's what's happened today. There we go.
But in September 2009, Owain launched a new company, Amcani, and with a small trickle of orders for their engineering products, he's re-employed some of the original staff on short-term contracts.
See what's what. That's the key, is making sure that the axles are the right way around, because that's what I wanted to check.
But unfortunately, there was no return contract for their former driver, Roy Williams. After the original company folded, Roy visited the local job centre in the hope of permanent work.
There are one or two here. There's a health courier, full driving licence, with up to a maximum of 3 points.
Yeah.
Would you like to try for them?
Yeah, where will it be based at?
It's based in
Haverfordwest. That's 60 miles away.
It's too far for you.
Well, 16, well, 50 miles away, yeah.
I've also got a list of local employment agencies.
These are all agencies, and they're a waste of time.
Agencies.
I don't want part-time work. I want something that I'm going to finish when I retire.
You want full-time?
I want full-time permanent, yes. I don't want to mess around.
Okay, well, I hope the job comes through for you.
So do I.
Everything goes well, yeah?
55, never mind.
Well, good luck, right?
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Where the family's concerned, they've got to try and keep your chin up and not let everybody else worry. So hopefully somebody somewhere will mention my name and they'll say, oh, they're looking for a driver, and perhaps get in contact. So we'll see.
Like so many places in Wales, new out-of-town shopping centres provide easy, convenient retailing. But some believe it's tearing the very heart from old Llanelli, as many of the town's high street retailers go bust.
It's been a combination of a lot of things. Obviously, the out-of-town shopping areas have taken trade away from the town, but obviously the recession has had a big impact on the town as well. It's, people aren't spending the money anymore, but people haven't got the money to spend anymore. So it's killed the town, with everything, really.
At Choose Life, Carlo gets a free meal and talks with Julie Perkins, one of the centre's volunteers. Carlo's excited about the prospect of getting his own place.
Been doing well without the place in there, but obviously you have your slips, but I still know I've been doing well.
So you just to slip back into the way of addiction and everything, just to make yourself feel good at the time.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Because you haven't got your own place, really, innit?
It's pretty awful, and then the only thing that makes you feel better is the drugs that at the time of the end.
It just takes your mind off it, innit?
Yeah.
But don't take the problems away, because in the morning the problem's still there. But
exactly.
In my case, it's just a place that I need will take a lot of weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's down to me then. Do you know what I mean? If I mess that up, I'm a fool to myself. But I know 150%. That's what I need.
You'll all be coming round for Sunday lunch.
Yep. I make a cracking Sunday lunch too.
Aww.
But getting a flat in Carlo's situation is far from simple. To secure his 2-month deposit, Carlo needs the job centre to fax him a list of his benefits for the bond company. Based on this, they'll then lend Carlo's landlord the money he needs for his deposit. But without the information about his income, the bond company won't release a penny. Having called the job centre a week ago, Carlo still doesn't have the information he needs.
I haven't received nothing, and I can't understand why it can't get I got told that there'd be no problem, Mr. Shepherd, we will fax that straight across now for you. I got told that 3 occasions last week.
A lot don't know where to start. They haven't got the knowledge where to start or what, to get on that first rung of the ladder. It's just so helpless, really. It really is. It's just, and like Carlo said, your self-esteem is at rock bottom anyway. And
the tendency is then, as you say, to mingle with like, and if you're struggling hard to get that much further on, you're not going to do it. You know, without a base really to go home to and things and call your own, you're not going to do it.
Outside, Carlo's frustrated with the bureaucracy he still needs to overcome.
Quite a big workload anyway, so why don't you try and phone knowledge? No, and see if they have heard it. It could be that your name is just on a pile and they're going to be phoning you in 10 minutes.
I tried phoning housing and bond scheme, not Friday, sorry, Tuesday, and engaged all day.
Do you want me to come over with you? I'm happy to come over with you.
Well, I just sat like this all day. I've been like this all day. There's no motivation in me. I can't be bothered to talk. Do you know what I mean? I've just been antisocial as well. Do you know what I mean? So I've just been sitting there.
You know, stay positive. It's easy enough for me to say, isn't it? But stay positive, and then, you know, plus that can open doors, isn't it?
2 weeks after his call to apply for bankruptcy, Paul Williams has had some good news. The bankruptcy court in Swansea have a cancellation.
Morning.
So what's happened today? Oh.
The day has arrived. I'm now going into the court to deal with my bankruptcy. I don't know whether they're going to have a go at me because, you know what I mean, like a lot of people will say, I failed, innit, you know what I mean? But as far as I'm concerned, I haven't failed through my own doing. But I don't know whether they're going to be, you know, coming to take my possessions and what have you. I don't know what I'm going to be left with. My main concern from what people have told me is that I'll be able to carry on trading. I hope that is the case with just the one car.
Across town, Carlo has had no luck securing the bond money for his flat. Unable to get the information he needs from the job centre, Carlo goes to a charity called the Wallage. They specialise in helping young homeless people rebuild their lives.
Hi Andrew, it's Donna here from the Wallage. Hiya. I'm phoning regarding Carlo about the bonding. Can you tell me the situation on that, please? Right. Right, proof of income and... or proof of benefits.
Donna, if you could let him know, I did speak to the job centre the other day. They said they're going to fax it straight across now to them.
All right, Carlo did say that apparently that he spoke to the job centre.
Yeah.
And that
they were going to fax it straight across to yourselves. I had the fax number from
straight
Tuesday.
Across to yourselves,
so
they
obviously they haven't done their...
All right, thank you very much then, Andrew. All right, thank you. Bye.
They said, yeah, no problems to share, but so politely. It does take up to 3 hours for a call to be doing, but I'll put down urgent. That fax will go through today.
We'll do that definitely on Monday
no
then,
problem at all, yeah.
All right?
Thanks a lot, Donna.
All right,
thank you, right? No problem.
All right,
thank
ta-ra.
It all hangs on Monday. If Carlo doesn't secure the bond money for his flat by then, he'll lose it.
My mind will be just all on Monday now, basically, do you know what I mean? Because, like, to me, I can't see why not. I can have an answer at 3:15 when we're down here Monday, whether or not I can have the bond, do you know what I mean? So that's what's going to be on my mind all weekend now, do you know what I mean?
In Swansea, Paul's bankruptcy hearing is finally over.
Like, a lot of pressure off my mind now, but just wait now what see the official receiver. But I have spoken to him on the phone now, and they've confirmed that I can still carry on trading, at least for the time being. This is the order, the actual bankruptcy order. That's just to confirm now that I have gone bankrupt, and then they've got to stop hassling me for the money. They've got to contact the official receiver, and the official receiver then deals with them accordingly. Look, I can carry on trading, so I'm going to put this back on my roof. Right. Cheers, guys.
With the court finally writing off his debts and allowing him to keep one of his taxis, Paul is free again to earn a living. A few months earlier, there was some good news for Roy Williams. He finally found himself a job, working with a funeral director.
Feel much better that I'm working. I got something to get up to in the morning to go to, so it's something to look forward to. I know it sounds silly, but it's a nice change. It's from dead bodies to morgue, to being in a funeral with a bearer, or to helping assisting with the gravestone. So it is certainly a varied job.
Carlo's weekend has passed. It's Monday morning and Carlo's nowhere to be found. Neither Choose Life or the Wallet can get in touch with him, and he loses his flat.
I don't think anybody's heard from him. We've had no feedback. He hasn't come in to let us know what's happening. I haven't seen hide or heard of him. You see that with many people. Many people. I think sometimes they're not in the right place in their own heads, in their own minds, where they've got either the courage or the determination to carry on. You know, it's easier just to go and do what they're used to doing, and oh well, what the hell. You've got to be pretty determined to continue on your quest for housing and things. So close, but he's yet so far away, and it's like, you know, I'm struggling.
Every year, just before Christmas, the people of Llanelli pour onto the streets for a carnival. It's a time for the community to put the difficult year behind them and celebrate. Alan Andrews has lost close friends to drugs, but Choose Life have still managed to help many more along the road to a better life, like Jamie Vaughan, who lost his brother Lee to heroin.
It's a fantastic carnival. Llanelli Carnival, the best carnival in Wales. We were meant to have a float this year, but we're definitely having a float next year. And it's just fantastic time for the kids. Really good.
Others have finally unburdened themselves from years of debt, but still have no reason to rejoice.
As you can see, everybody's pouring into town, and here I am, sat there doing nothing. Phone's just not ringing again. I mean, no work for us yet.
In a different part of town, there are those that have strived to realise a new vision and prosperity for everyone. And in the industrial heart of the town, factory owners like Owain and Spencer Davies have experienced the loss of their factory but managed to rise again.
I'd be glad to see the back of 2009 anyway. Yeah, it's been a challenging year, and but I think what puts it into perspective is coming to a night like this where you've got the kids, and regardless what goes on in the world, as long as the kids are healthy and everybody's out enjoying themselves and everybody's happy, who cares about everything else? Puts it into perspective. Hey, good off there. Coffees.
Familiar tales of hopes and dreams, struggles and triumphs that you'd find in any community, in any town, in Wales.